This episode of Chewing the Fat is brought to you by the Secret Hub Studios in conjunction with netchannel2.com. Hello everyone and welcome back to Chewing the Fat, episode 24. And once again this evening we have Mr. Glenn Goodman. How are you, sir?
Good evening. Yes, good evening everyone. Very good, very good. Thank you very much.
That's good, excellent. What's been happening this week? Anything that has irked you?
Oh, plenty of things have irked me this week. But you know, when your week's full of work, it's you don't really get time to get too upset about things.
No, correct.
But, you know, you see a few stories that come out every now and then that just start you off. And
Yes.
I don't know if you want me to start off.
You can start
But,
off if you like, mate. That's all right.
And something that really gets on my goat, and I'm sure it gets on everyone else's goat, is the absolute waste of money that this place, and look, it's everywhere. It's the Labor government in Canberra, the Labor government in Queensland, and look, it's probably across the board. It's probably across the board. It doesn't matter.
Governments in general, but Labor governments specifically are notoriously bad at managing money.
But this story, the set-top box is raised.
Oh,
Ugly,
good God.
Ugly little head again. It's ugly little head. Now, the TV rollout, right? The government, a couple of years ago, they said, okay, if you're on a max rate pension, we will supply you with a set-top box for free. So when the digital rolls out in your area, you will not be left behind. Okay. So however much that was going to cost them, $69.5 million, right?
Two people?
$69.5 million in the 910 budget. Now, that was before the fund received last year a further, and you beggars believe it, this is totally unbelievable, and a further $309 million.
What?
$309 million further. So
Hang
now,
on. How many set-top boxes? That's how many? What was the initial $1 million thing? 69 plus 309. Okay, so we're up for 378 million. Now, how many people have they converted? Did they say that?
Well, okay, so the recent figures that were provided to the Australian newspaper by the Digital Switchover Task Force show that the initial budget of $69.5 million had delivered 77,400 installations, right?
Yep.
Worked out at an average of $897 each.
That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. I would have done it for $350.
I'd have done it for $200. You can. But
you know what you could do? You could. Let's do it this way: $200, right? If you did it for $200, how many could you fit in a day? Honestly, I could do 6 a day easily.
Yeah,
easily,
6,
and I'd be home before lunch.
Depends if they were in the same street or whatever.
Well,
your travel time would be the most time-consuming part of that.
Yeah,
job.
that's right. So let's assume 6 a day at $200. That's $1,200 a day, and I'd be home. I'd have enough time to pick up my kids from school. Times 5 days. That's $6,000 a week. Times 52 weeks. I would have cleared $312,000.
Oh, look, and
someone is making a shitload of money out of this.
But this is where the joke is, right? Now, if that's not a joke, if that's not a big enough joke, this is a bigger joke. Now, this $897 it costs, and they get in the set-top box. You can buy a TV.
Yep, with a set-top box built into it. Yes.
You can buy a brand new TV, a 42-centimeter full HD TV, digital ready,
with 2 tuners.
Yeah, for like $800.
Yeah, with 2 tuners already in it, exactly. And they're getting Dick Smith. They're getting Dick Smith quality, made in China set-top boxes that actually cost $39.95.
Yeah, so set-top boxes, they can be purchased from retailers, Kmart, as you said, JB or whatever, or Kmart from as little as $19.
Oh my God.
That's wrong, isn't it?
Oh, that's wrong.
It's just totally wrong.
All right, no, speaking. Go on.
Yeah, old love, who lives in Warrnambool. She's in her 60s.
She looks like she's in her frickin' 90s. Have you seen this woman?
I don't know if that's her in the picture.
Oh, God almighty. 60s? My mother's 75, and she looks like she's 45. What's going on with people?
She's probably a meth addict. But anyway, she's
Uh,
Mrs. I'm not going to say her name now. She'll be in
no,
the
don't
news.
say a name. Don't say a name.
But Mr. blah blah blah.
Mrs. Meth. We'll call her Mrs. Meth.
Mrs. Meth says she had government-funded installers to a home 4 times in a 3-month period last year. The men tried to install 4 different versions of the same model of the set-top box, but none of them could get a TV to work. They said to me, "We are not TV technicians." The first guy spent 8 hours trying to make it work. And she goes, "I didn't think he was fully qualified."
Hang on. They're not TV technicians, but they've got the job to install
Yeah.
these things. So basically, that'd be, if I was sick, I'd go to you for a diagnosis, but you're not a doctor.
It's like it's the roof bats all over.
Yeah, it's all over. It's the building education revolution moving forward because I'm an ugly fucking idiot.
It's the bats. Mrs. Meth says that on 2 occasions, different installers came one after another and spent almost an entire day on her property, including searching around and under her house.
For what?
Eventually, they
We're searching for her money. They're probably trying to rob her.
searching for the meth. Eventually,
That's right.
Eventually, they left, promising to return and fit a new aerial. They never come back. With just 2 days to go. And this is the climax of the story. With just 2 days to go until the analog switch off, and faced with the prospect of being left without a working TV, she phoned the son of a well-known retired local TV installer. He fitted a set-top box she bought from Harvey Norman for $48.
Oh my God. Oh
So
my God. You people are out of control.
it cost the government $890 for Mrs. Meth, but then she said, "Enough's enough. I'll go and spend my own $50," and gets it working.
Yeah, get stuffed government. That's what that's saying. Dickheads.
Is that crazy?
That's
Is that
madness.
crazy?
Well, you know what else is madness, mate?
They flip. Just one more thing
Go
to
on.
do with that story. That part of the money for that rollout, including the rollout, they flip Centrelink's $15 million to hand it out.
So the administration cost to hand out the money cost $15 million.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's brilliant. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. I love that. If these people were running corporations, they would have been fired and probably sent to jail by now.
Oh, isn't it a mess? And what about now on the Aussie Tech Heads this week we were discussing. Will brought up, or I think it was Will, or could have been you, Eric, or someone brought up that the Queensland government, they didn't like their web page.
Yep.
They spent so many million.
850,000
$850,000
in 6 months.
on their
Yeah.
Didn't like it, so they sacked the web guy.
Started again. He keeps the money. Yep.
And started again.
Yeah. Well done.
What's going on around here?
Well done.
Seriously, what is going on?
It's just that's bad. That's very, very bad.
So if you go down to Canberra or into your state parliament halls of whatever you want to call it, and you go, "What's going on?" You wouldn't hear anything. You'd hear a pin drop.
You would hear a pin drop because there's no one there. They're all having lunches.
Do you know what it is? It's just too many people that are elected representatives are out to line their own pocket.
That's it. That's what it's about. It's not
don't
about the
care.
people. It's about the power. And that's the
That's
disgraceful thing about it. It's not about the
Yep.
people. It's about the power.
And I reckon that is evident when you get, say, politicians on the same side, and they will help prop up an ailing current empowerment.
Yeah. Or
Know what I mean?
it becomes bipartisan when it makes no sense at all.
Yeah, yeah. Like you'll get say I don't know, one of the say the Labor Party absolutely stunk in New South Wales, right?
Yeah.
Now you'll get I don't know, say you'll get another Labor politician, nothing to do with New South Wales, but say a federal politician going, "Oh, Labor's good, great, yeah, good New South Wales Labor, I'm going to vote for him, blah blah blah," backing them up all the way.
Because
But he should be saying, no, they stink.
Because there's something in it for him. If he says all these good things, they'll appoint him to, mates jobs. They all get booted out, and I say, "Oh, we'll get, don't worry, we'll, jobs for the boys, all that sort of." That's what they're known for.
That's a joke. I don't know how do you stop this? It's a rot.
Vote them out, people. Vote them out and lock them up. Don't vote for them in the first place because they are ruining this country. They really are.
We need a maverick. Where's Bob Catter?
Oh, yeah, but Yeah, but he's gone. He's gone to the dark side. Oh no, he didn't. No, he didn't go to the dark side, did he? That's Oakshot and Oakshot and Scrotum Balls, whatever his name is. Can't remember. Scrote face with Mrs. Meth. So you know what else is a joke? Well, as part of the, we just had Aussie Tech Heads episode 277, 7:30 live, Gold Coast every Thursday night. We just had that show, and as part of the show, we talked briefly about the NBN joke and how that they're rolling out. Again, they've come up with the rollout for January, February, and it's all Labor seats, New South Wales, Blacktown, Penrith, Wollongong, all Labor seats, right? Ridiculous. Seats with no money who will never sign up for these things. Anyway, as part of a little press release on their website, which they didn't make public, it says on there, the NBN hails its 4,000th customer. Hails. They've got 4,000 people in total. Hails.
That's
at a total cost, I'll tell you.
Aussie Tech Heads has more listeners.
At a total cost of $1 billion. 4,000 customers. That's $250,000 per customer.
The only thing you could say, but in its defense, the only thing, if you had to defend it, the only thing you could say would be that it's in its infancy, and it can't be up and running totally because all the deals between Telstra and the infrastructure and all the stakeholders have not been completed in their entirety.
Agree. Look, I've got no problem with the NBN. I can't wait for it to finish. I'll be dead by the time it does finish. But nevertheless, I hope it finishes soon and I get it in my area soon. But because I'm in a Liberal seat, I got Buckley's of getting it anytime soon. Beside the point, I think it's a good thing. But my argument, and I've said this 1,000 times to anyone that cares to listen, my argument isn't with the NBN. I think Malcolm Turnbull's got it wrong, and I'm a Liberal supporter. I think he's got it wrong. I think he doesn't know. I think his job, because he's in opposition, he has to oppose. And unfortunately, sometimes that clouds your judgment. But my issue isn't with the NBN going in. My issue is the fact that it's going to cost them 3 times more than what they said it would cost. And because the management of this by the Labor Party is what's always going to bring this thing down. Nothing else. The NBN is a good idea. And if it was managed properly, it would come in on time, on budget, or slightly over budget. Even if if it went 50% over budget, it's still going to be a lot less. This is going to cost us $100 billion. They said it was $37 billion. It's going to cost 3 times that, and it's not going to make. And because it's a utility, you don't look at it as payback on your money, short term.
What I don't get, who's putting this stuff in the ground?
Contractors.
Right. So how can you have a blowout where unless the contractor goes broke because of his own mismanagement, how can you have a cost blowout to such a magnitude when you've got a contract to get the job done?
Yeah, well, how can you get a cost blowout on the building education revolution? Look what happened there. What happens is they lodged tenders. Well, what happened? What a lot of people suspect happened, and in some areas, some people know what happened, is that a lot of the contracts were given to Labor mates. To big contractors who then farmed it out, Leighton Holdings, Lend-Lease, and who then farmed it out. They're all big donors, whatnot. This is allegedly, okay? So, and then because they didn't care who they gave the job to or how much it cost, because they were taking, whatever percentage off the top, and they were making money off it for doing nothing, for just administering the program and handing it out to local builders or whatever. Now, a lot of people suspect that this sort of thing was being given to Labor mates as usual, and things like tuck shops costing $800,000. A tuck shop that didn't have a sink costing $800,000, which is the size of a single garage, costing $800,000. Now, where I live, you could build a very nice house for $800,000, and it'd be the nicest house in the whole place. And if you saw a house like that around here, everyone would think that you were super, super, super loaded. But when it comes to the government running $800,000 and managing it, it's a tuck shop the size of a single garage with no sink.
Well, I don't think that these people do they live in the real world here?
They put in inflated quotes, mate. They put in inflated quotes. That's what, and the government, because they're non-commercial. The government people are non-commercial. They don't know how much things really cost. They don't know how to analyse and critique and review. They're not in the
real world.
They don't, because they're not in the real world. They've never had real jobs. So if someone came to them and said, "Oh look, I'm going to do your grocery shopping for you today, and you've got a family of 5, including 3 kids, and that's going to cost you," a normal person would go, "Okay, that's going to cost you anywhere between $250 and $400 a week to feed a family of 4. Good food, not crap, not fatty stuff, good food." But you hand it to a government person, they're going to go and say, "Oh, can you give me a quote, please?" And they hand it to the government for approval. The guy will say, "Oh, these guys are clueless. I'm just going to inflate the shit out of this. It's going to cost you $2,000." And the government goes, "Oh, okay then," because they have no idea.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what we got to do, but
vote them out. Vote them out. They should. You know what? There should be a revolution in Australia. March on Canberra.
But isn't that what that Occupy was trying to do?
Well, they were against greed, against Wall Street. They weren't marching against the politicians. You know what? They were barking up the wrong tree. Because it's the politicians that put these laws in place in the first place that allowed these corporations to abuse it.
Yeah, yeah. And what about this big mining town up in wherever it's going to be, up in Queensland somewhere? Queensland's Australia's biggest mining town. The people can't get they can't get jobs because the labour is cheaper from India. So the mining companies are bringing labour from India out because it's cheaper.
Yeah, of course.
And so that's leaving the Australians without the work, without the jobs.
Well, I don't know what mining company that is, but that doesn't surprise me. If you go to
the Chinese-owned company.
Yeah, well, there you go. Australian companies don't do that. They hire. They don't need to because they're efficient and they're not greedy. It's not Foxconn, is it?
No, Foxconn.
Foxconn, they treat their workers nicely. Well, if you go to anywhere in the Middle East, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, where there's massive amounts of building work going on, they're always building skyscrapers or something. These big resorts in the middle of nowhere, blah blah. They're all Indians and Pakistanis, all of them.
Yeah. Yep.
Cheap labour.
We're losing it.
We're losing it. It's bad.
Yeah, so what happened here? You've one here. National storm out after.
Oh yes, today the National Party MPs today stormed out of the House of Representatives in protest against the ejection of party leader Warren Truss. It was the most obvious sign of growing opposition and resentment towards Speaker Peter Slippery Pete, a liberal who turned independent. Remember this, this guy, Slippery Pete. Because he got Labor backing, and he's probably got it. He's lined up himself a diplomatic post after all this.
Did he actually turn to independent?
Yeah, in order to get. Yeah, what a joke. He went from liberal to independent because the Labor government's bribed him with something, or they had something on him. I don't know.
He didn't have to turn. Legally or whatever, he didn't have to go to be independent to be the speaker. He chose that.
He chose that in order that way because then he can vote for Labor.
He can vote wherever he likes anyway. He can cross the floor.
But he won't because he's a Slippery Pete. So they're saying here that they threw out Warren Truss for over an hour of over interjections, despite the long-standing practice that party leaders are given greater latitude than other members when it comes to interjections. So he's basically thrown that out the door and said, no, we're gonna boot you out, leave. Last week he threw out Joe Hockey. He's just thrown out everyone because the Labor government's going, yeah, come on, mate, you throw them out, then we don't have to answer their questions. See, throw them out. It's not democratic anymore because they've got a patsy in there. Who, if they don't like the questioning, if the Labor Party doesn't like the question, they probably give him a little bit of a nod, and he just throws them out. And that way, you can't question the Labor Party.
Why didn't the last speaker? Why wasn't he as tough? He was Labor.
He was Labor, but he was objective. He wasn't a slime bucket like this bloke.
What is Slipper wearing anyway?
He wanted to. As soon as he wanted to, the previous speaker used to wear a suit like all the parliamentarians. He'd sit there with a suit. He's wearing full robes. Right, cape. He's like the masked crusader. He's wearing a cape, barrister's gowns with a big girly bow tie, and he wanted to wear a barrister's wig. But I don't even think he's a barrister. But as a speaker, you're allowed to wear these garb, and he wants the big ceremony every time he walks into the house. The guy's an absolute joke.
He's not all there.
No, he's a power. Tell me, is that not power tripping at its highest order?
Do you reckon he like just wafts around Parliament House?
Yeah, he just wafts around. Yeah.
Doing his cape, like getting the cape and reaching around his head.
Yeah, I reckon he thinks he's Darth Vader.
I'm Slipper.
That's right, I'm Slipper, Peter Slipper. You know what? Someone should walk up to him and pat him on the back. Good on you, mate. And then leave a sign on the back. You put a sign on the people's back while he's walking around with his cape, and on there it says, "I'm a cock. Kick me."
Did you used to watch that show 10 years ago, The Late Show, The D Generation?
Yeah, every now and again, yeah.
They used to have a segment on there, Sink the Slipper.
No, I never saw that.
They had the wall. They had the wall with a hole in it. They used to get a prominent person, obviously made up, but a backside would come through the hole in the wall, and then they say, like they said one night, it was Joe Kerner, and so then they'd go, "This is for the Pyramid Building Society," and then give him a fair whack, give her a fair whack, kick up the coin.
Oh, Joe Kerner. What's the capital of Victoria? 50 cents. That's right.
That's right. So, which brings this story here that you had here with the slippery Pete brings me to another story that sort of crosses over here. Something's happened with the means test legislation. What happened with him and the means testing?
Because he's the speaker only votes to break a tie, apparently. Okay.
Yep.
Now this is the means testing for the Medibank health fund rebate.
Yes.
Okay. So they've basically now. After I talk about this, I'll tell you what's July 1 this year. This is what Australians are going to be copying. All right. So first of all, it's passed. I don't know if it's got to go to another house to get ratified or whether it can still fall over. I'm not sure, but it's passed 71 votes to 70.
Right.
Okay. He can't vote for either side. If it was 71-70, then he cast his vote to break the tie. But apparently never got to that. But if he was still a Liberal, it could have been 71-70 the other way.
Right.
The other way.
Right.
Because he was a Liberal. Okay? And so it wouldn't have passed. Now, keep that in mind that coming July 1, we have the flood levy, 1%, that everyone's going to get hit by over a certain income, because of to pay for the Queensland floods, even though it was complete mismanagement by the government that caused the floods in the first place. Labor government. Those engineers have resigned now. They should be frickin' tried for manslaughter, and so should the government for that matter. We've got the carbon tax. Is that this year or next year?
This year.
July 1. So your electricity bills are about to go up by 30%. That, in fact, in New South Wales, have already gone up by 30% in the last 12 months. Plus,
I think in the last 2 years, ours have gone up like 60%.
Yeah. Well, my electricity bill is $1,500 a quarter. It used to be $800. It's doubled in 8 years. Doubled. That's a 100% increase. And in 8 years, the CPI has only increased 25%. And the power has increased 100%. On top of that, we will now have an extra $1,300 a year to pay for health insurance.
But only if your income is over
as a couple, $166,000. But in Sydney, $166,000 as a couple buys you bugger all. You are struggling on that sort of money. It's a very expensive city to live in.
It is very expensive.
It's extremely expensive.
Look, so obviously you're against it.
I'm against anything that taxes people for breathing. Really, because these taxes. Why are they putting the taxes in for? I'll tell you why. Because they mismanaged.
The health insurance one isn't a tax.
Well, it's a rebate because you pay your health premiums are about $4,000 a year. And then the government gives you $1,300 off that, so it's effectively a tax cut, and then you pay $2,700 to your health fund. But now I will be paying the full $4,000 a year on health insurance, so that's an extra $1,300 a year. And the reason they're bringing all this in is because they mismanaged the surplus that was given to them by the Liberal government to the tune of more than $30 billion, and in 4 years. They have blown that to the point that they are now a budget deficit of $100 billion. There's a federal deficit. $130 billion in 4 years. Where is it? Where have they got to show it? My hospitals around here, I don't know about you, my hospitals don't look any different to me. My roads are still crap.
Do you think that one of the better ways of doing things, and this came from John Howard when he introduced the GST, one of his, well, I think one of the what he did with how he introduced the GST and the mechanism that would be used to be able to increase the rate of GST, he tied that up so it would probably never happen.
Well, maybe not, but I don't think the point is constantly raising taxes. I don't think that's the issue. I think it's because more and more people join the workforce every year. So as more people join the workforce, you're collecting more taxes. But at the same time, the balancing effect of that is more and more people use those same people use infrastructure that you need taxes to pay for hospitals, roads, transport, police, nurses, etc.
More and more elderly people.
Correct. That's right. But
and they're living longer.
They are living longer. The elderly people are living longer. Look, and I understand that aspect of it. There are a lot of people who need the support of the government, and I've got nothing against that. There are a lot of people that shouldn't be getting it. Byron Bay, hello. But at the same time, taxing people to death is not the answer. It's managing the money. It's government fat that's making them run out of money, and it's their consultants and the spin merchants and the public relations consultants and their mates getting jobs for, like Anna Bly's husband suddenly on a board somewhere, and suddenly what's his name, Julia Gillard's boyfriend's on some sort of committee here, or a job, a developer who's a Labor donator and all. I'm thinking, no, cut the fat. It's not about taxing people. It's about making sure you don't waste money.
But when it's put to you, when it's put to you that, say, the guy that picks up the glasses in the pub is paying his taxes to help subsidise the health insurance of a guy that's on $500,000 a year.
Yep.
So when it's put to you that way, you go, well, that's fair enough. The guy that's on $500,000 a year probably should be able to pay his own health insurance.
Yeah, I agree. But the guy on $500,000 a year is paying a Medicare levy of 1.5%, right, times $500,000 a year, of $7,500 extra. Now the guy picking up glasses is not.
Yep.
Okay. So let's look at it that way. He's paying for his health insurance. He's paying $7,500 Medicare levy and $4,000 private health insurance.
That was the same argument with the baby bonus when they cut that for income earners over $150,000.
Yep.
That was the same argument that these people on $150,000, the ones you want in the workforce, the ones you want to be paying the taxes,
they're the ones that pay the tax. Exactly. Who do you think's given the? Where do you think they're getting their Social Security money from?
Yeah.
The high earners.
They're just giving them back $5,000. They probably pay $80,000 a year in tax.
That's right, and they're getting back
$5,000 for having a baby.
Now, put it this way: if the guy picking up glasses had a heart attack, and he's paid his Medicare levy of $1,500 a year, and the guy on $500,000 a year has a heart attack, and he pays his $7,500 Medicare levy a year, their treatment in the hospital is no different.
Yeah.
Right, but why does my bloke have to pay $6,000 more? Because he earns more. Okay, that's fair. So
yeah, but the private health insurance is a little bit different.
Well, let's assume that he's not insured. Let's say he's just paying Medicare, right? So his only choice is a public hospital, just like the bloke picking up glasses in a bar.
Well, there was that argument. Remember, Paul Keating? He wasn't in private health insurance. He was only in Medicare.
That's right.
He never had private health.
Well, he was. That's one of the things that he did. Is if I'm going to kick the ass of these liberals with their private health insurance and blah 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 blah, I've got to make sure that I'm not a hypocrite.
Yeah.
And the minute he leaves Parliament, he joined the private health fund, and that's fine. But he put his money where his mouth is, basically.
Yeah, he didn't forget to pay his taxes a couple of years.
Oh, who knows?
And then he signed his name on the $5 bill.
I think he forgot to lodge a return. I don't think he forgot to pay his taxes.
Oh, lodge a
return, nothing. But so that's my argument. The people that earn a lot of money pay a lot of taxes too. They're the ones paying for the Byron Bay bludgers to start with.
And speaking of heart attacks,
Oh God.
what's going on with this one here that you picked out?
Oh God. Some people are just freaking stupid.
It's,
Customer has heart attack at the heart attack restaurant in Las
oh,
Vegas. A
yeah,
man
that
has
that
had a
happened.
heart attack while eating at the Heart Attack Grill in Las Vegas. The man, in his 40s, mind you, not old, was eating the 6,000 calorie triple bypass burger at the
Shh.
restaurant on Saturday when he started sweating, shaking, and could barely talk. It was no joke, said the owner, who calls
Oh,
himself Dr. John. Yeah, I'm
the
sure.
John.
With his with his scantily clad waitresses as nurses and customers as patients. So it's a big theme restaurant, obviously.
Are
Now,
you able to get that picture of the quadruple bypass
let me
burger up?
try. Let me try to get that for you.
One of the nurses back to me, he said that this was the first time, despite the name of the restaurant, that a customer had a heart attack here. One of the nurses came back to me and said, Dr. John, we've got a patient who's in trouble. A patient
A
who's in
patient.
trouble. The man was taken to hospital by paramedics. His conditions was not disclosed. So, I don't know. I'll read on here, see if he's still with us. Mr. Basso said he felt horrible for the man. Even with our own morbid sense of humor, we would never pull a stunt like that. At the restaurant, eaters are given surgical gowns as they choose from a cala, cali extravagant menu.
A what?
Bypass burgers, flatliner fries, buttermilk shakes, and free meals to folks over 159 kilos.
Holy shit.
You get a you get a free meal if you're over 159 kilos.
Oh, that's ridiculous. All right, here we go.
It,
There it is. All right, there's the menu. Single bypass burger, double bypass burger, triple bypass burger, and a quadruple bypass burger. Now, the triple bypass burger has 6,000 calories, so I can only assume, doing the maths, that the quadruple bypass burger would have 8,000 calories.
oh yeah. So in March 2011, 260.8 kilogram, 2 meter tall Blair River 29, 260
How can you be
kilograms,
that big?
who became well known as the spokesman for the restaurant, died possibly from contracting pneumonia after a bout of flu. You're kidding me.
That's ridiculous.
He, I would suggest that I don't know how big this guy was that had the heart attack, but if he was over 159 kilograms and eating a free burger, they could be a bit liable there.
I would say so, unless he
But
signed a waiver before he
a bit
sat down.
negligent,
Yeah,
wouldn't you? You'd be going, well,
but
I
you know
want this
what?
because
At the end of the
it's free.
day, you cannot legislate against stupidity. If a guy that size doesn't realise that he's a
Try to.
risk, what's that?
Well, they try to, don't they?
They try to. They try to do the nanny state. And I look at it
Hmm.
this way. I look at it as this. I want it to be Darwinism. The
Yeah.
more stupid people just drop off the face of the earth or kill themselves because they're dumb, well, that's only good for the human race overall, isn't it? Because only the smart survive, and that's good for the gene pool because you haven't got morons and bogans and fuckknuckles, right? So if these guys want to kill themselves, let them.
Yeah, yeah. And I'll tell you, a good candidate for that would be this Kim Sattler.
She's
Uh,
a knobhead at the highest order. Oh, actually, speaking of knobheads, I forgot I had a little story here. You'll love this. You'll love this. Where are we? Oh, here we go. The top of the. I put it in late breaking story.
yeah.
Late breaking story here. Man attacked. Hang on, I'll put this up on the screen here. Here we go. A woman was furious at her boyfriend for not giving her a Valentine's Day gift. Tried to attack him with a knife.
Are they still together?
Oh, well, they're probably having makeup sex. Cincinnati resident Kira Reed, 22, got into a verbal altercation with partner, I hate that term, partner, boyfriend, Henry Brown, just before midnight on the evening of February 14, when she learned he did not have a Valentine's present for her. Police allege she pushed and scratched Mr. Brown until he locked himself inside a bedroom in her apartment.
What
Then,
sort of a man is he?
yeah, get away from
He,
me! Reed
Yeah, what
took.
sort of man is he?
Then the bird, Kira Reed, took a knife to the door, trying to slash her way into, as she yelled she will cut Mr. Brown. I'm going to cut you! Cut Mr. Brown and kill him. She was released on $2,000 bail yesterday.
So she didn't have the knife initially, and he locked himself in the cupboard.
Yeah, well done. Yeah,
What sort of man is this guy? Like, seriously?
I would have said, open the door, let the knife out, and let Darwinism take its course.
Yeah. Oh, well, I wouldn't have even got that far. I would have seen it going crazy and said, "I'm going. Get out of here. Either you get out, or I go."
That's
and
right.
Just say,
well, you know what? If she cut me, and I don't like hitting anyone, male or female, but if she cut me, I would have punched her in the face.
Yeah.
And ran the hell out of there.
It's not good. It's not,
Run down the street like a girl. Help me! Help me!
Help, please, help.
Oh dear. All right. Speaking of Darwinism and idiots, Union Chief Kim Sattler allowed to keep her job. Embattled Union Chief Kim Sattler has been allowed to keep her job after weeks of contradicting statements from her over the role of triggering the Australian Day. They've got the tape.
Yeah, this is another rot.
Yeah, they've got the tape.
Rot.
Explosive footage emerged this week showing Miss Sattler telling protesters at the Aboriginal Tent Embassy opposition leader wanted to pull the site down. She incited violence. This woman should be frickin' fired and tried.
She should be charged.
She should be charged. But you know what? If you and I incited violence, we'd be locked up. We would be. Because that's a crime.
Yeah.
Inciting violence. And racial violence at that.
Oh, look, there'll be another 18-month inquiry that's going to cost $600 million.
Like the inquiry into Craig Thompson that's cost $900,000 in 4 years, and there's still no charges. You cannot tell me there's not someone there pushing the buttons saying, hold off, hold off, hold off. Because if we lose this bloke, we lose government. Come on.
Wasn't there was some correlating statistics put forward today. I can't remember all of them, but it was something like the Olympic Stadium took less time to build than this inquiry has taken.
Yes. Probably cost less too.
Yes, and the inquiry into the JFK murder, it took half the time as this inquiry has taken.
Yeah.
Like, once again, what is going on?
I'll tell you what's going on. If the Labor government wasn't hanging on to by a shoestring, and if they had the majority in both houses, they would have hung this bloke out to dry in 3 months. But because
it doesn't matter, I don't care.
No, me neither. I don't care. I think they've got to be completely objective, regardless of what happens. But they're not. They're only going to do it to suit their own purpose. They know that they will lose power and government. There'll be a snap election.
But that's what I mean. Where's my rant cam?
You need a rant cam, dude. You need to switch. You need to switch.
Oh, it's just so frustrating. Like, because it just seems like down there in Canberra, it's just one. Do you reckon it's just because they're in Canberra, they're a world away from the rest of the population?
Yeah, they're isolated from the real world. That's why I didn't like the fact that they put Canberra. And it was built to be a capital city full of bureaucrats. They should have Parliament in Sydney or Melbourne or I don't care, a major city, because when they walk out of their office, they see the people on the streets begging. They see people sleeping on train stations, under sheets. Walk through Hyde Park in Sydney, you see all the meth addicts. You might see Mrs. Meth down there, trying to get someone to install a digital set-top box.
She's down there standing on a chair with a coat hanging.
That's right. Because then they are hit in the face with the real world.
Yeah. Look, as I said, what is going on?
Nothing. That's the problem. That's right. Nothing.
It's party time for these people.
Oh, they're a joke.
So this woman Sattler, she can't lose a job, even though she incited a riot, allegedly inciting a riot, and bloody Thompson can't lose his job for allegedly booking up porn and routes on his credit card.
That's right. Yeah, not just on his credit card, stealing money and using it for porn and prostitutes, call girls, escorts, whatever you want to call them.
What is going on?
Well, I'll tell you what's going on. Vote for another government. Demand an election. We did not vote for this government. Look, I didn't like the fact that Kevin Rudd got in, but the point is the people voted him in. The people did not vote in Julia Gillard. She is not a legitimate government.
Well, yeah, well, that's sort of true in a way, but you sort of do actually vote the party in, don't you, as they say?
Yes, well, not, but they didn't even vote the party in. On a two-party preferred, without the independents, the Liberals had the votes at the last election.
Yeah. But then again, that's the presidential style thought process of anyone. Like when you go down to the voting ballot box and you see your local Liberal or Labor member, you do think to yourself, well, I'm going to vote Liberal because I don't even know this guy, but I want Tony.
Agree.
Or I'm going to
agree.
vote Labor.
Yeah. Well, because you know that by voting for your local member, you're actually voting for, because his votes get counted towards the main, the Liberal leader, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But no one voted for Gillard. She stabbed Rudd in the back, called an election and bribed the independents. Say, I'll put the NBN in your seats if you stand by me. And sure enough, that's what they did. And look at every NBN, if overseas visitors, NBN stands for National Broadband. Look at where all the rollout for the NBN is, and it's all in Labor seats or independent seats.
Well, I hope bloody Alan Wilkie got the NBN in his seat because he's not getting jack shit from now on.
No, he's gone.
He's finished. And his electorate would be over him too. I reckon Oakeshot's electorate would be over him.
Oh, definitely. He's gone. He'll never get another job, Oakeshott.
Yeah, well, not in... What do you mean another job?
He won't get any job because who's going to hire him? He's a freaking traitor. He's a Judas. he completely went against his electorate's wishes.
Yeah. Oh, he won't get voted in, but I don't know about another job.
He won't get another job. I wouldn't hire him.
Some sucker to hire him.
Yeah, someone would. Because he's contacts. No, he hasn't got contacts. He's a suck. The guy is he's an independent who can be bought. You can't rely on people like that. There's no loyalty there.
You'd have to admire the bloody catter, though, wouldn't you? Like just saying.
Well, he stood up.
He said, "I'm not voting for this woman, and I'll go with Tony."
That's right. The thought of it. Could you imagine if she sidled up to you and goes, "Oh, Glenn, I'll give you whatever you want if you just sign this bit of paper." I'd throw up in her fucking face. Just hearing her, she makes my skin crawl. She's just despicable.
You'd be in two minds to a certain extent because you'd be going, well, okay, my electorate voted me in. They want a hospital. She said she's going to give me a hospital if I support her. What do I do?
But yeah, that's true. But has she delivered every promise that she's agreed to? No, she hasn't. She hasn't. The only thing she's delivered is the NBN.
Yeah.
She's backflipped.
The only thing that she delivered was bloody pre-written acceptance speeches of the Prime Ministership 3 weeks before the coup even happened.
That's right. So don't tell me, she knew nothing about it, of course. But, she's backed down on everything. She has lied. You remember the YouTube video? It's laughable that they think it's going to be a carbon tax. Remember Swanee? The Liberal people. No carbon tax under my government, she said.
Look, they're writing their own ads for the Liberal Party, aren't they?
Oh yeah, the next election, it's all there. The material is fantastic.
Yeah,
they are just a pack. They have lied. They have not kept one promise at all.
Do you think that Swan does keep a low profile?
Yeah, he has to, because I reckon someone's out. If he walked down the street in any major city, I reckon he'd get a punch in the face. Seriously, because he's a smarmy little, two-faced bloody kowtower.
Yeah. Well, what do we do? How do we attract better people into this?
Pay them more. Pay them more, and easy. Just vote Liberal.
Well, they're getting more now, aren't they? So is this what it needed?
Well, maybe. We'll see. We'll see in my lifetime whether something happens or not. So corruption in government pisses me off. Hate it.
Yeah. My perfect world. My perfect scenario at this point in time. Malcolm Turnbull.
Agree. Here, indeed. We need a benevolent dictator like they've got in Singapore. One guy makes all the decisions, tells everyone to get on it, shut your mouth, get on and just do the job that I'm telling you to do, but at the same time he cares about the people. That's what you need.
Yeah, I think that could be right.
No,
I think
no
that,
self-interest.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway,
I'm
all
all
right.
worn
Well,
out.
that's chewing the fat for episode 24.
Oh, we chewed
February.
it.
What is it today? February 16, is it? Yes, February
Yep.
16. So we're all signing off now. And Rant Cam didn't use it tonight.
We chewed it. We spat it.
That's right.
This episode
We
of
chewed it.
Chewing the Fat
See you
was
next
brought to
time.
you
See you
by
guys.
Secret
See you
Hub
later.
Studios in conjunction with netchannel2.com.
Woo!